My heart is so warm to see a room full of entertainment people excited. I envisioned a group like this 16 or so years ago when I was in LA, and I was at networking groups, and it felt like a lot of people who were looking for their next gig, but not a lot of people who were offering the next gig. And I wanted to create a room full of people that could provide the next gig or opportunity along with the talent that they are looking for. So that's the heartbeat behind AEB. We don't really care how you made the project, how you directed it, but we want to know how you raised your money, how you leveled up from a PA to director, how you became a producer, all the stuff that we sit up at nighttime and think about when we're thinking about our next gig and maybe jumping to another avenue. So that's the heartbeat behind AEB. Hey, I wanted to give a shout out to our friends at Textordinary. While we're talking about opportunities in Texas, do you two want to come up and say a quick thing? I know we didn't get a chance to do the open mic. Thank you. You're just going to go for it. Take the dangerous route.
What's up, party people? We got some good-looking people in here, don't we? My name is Wayne Sampson. I'm a Los Angeles transplant, and I'm a co-founder with Zena Van Akron with Textordinary Creative.
Zena Van Akron moved to Austin about 4 years ago. Specialty is casting, development. We met when we worked together at NBC years back, and found ourselves both here in Austin and teamed up.
A little bit about me. I worked at NBC for 15 years, and I transplanted here, thank God. Our focus as Textordinary is finding people that have ideas that want to take it to the next level. You're looking for money, you're looking for branded, you're looking for packaging, you don't know what you're doing, you want help. We want to make you money, and that's where we come into place. We're working with Jen. We are her unscripted arm, and we are passionate, and we are aggressive. And we're looking for great ideas to take to the next level. Over the last year, we've had a lot of success. What we're doing right now is we're taking ideas that we can sell to long form and streaming, and shit, if we can't sell it there, we'll make a YouTube channel. But we're going to figure it out. That is our focus.
And bring it back to Austin, Texas.
Yeah. And whatever we can do to take Texas and just bring it globally, that's our focus. So thank you.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you. For those of you who don't know, we also meet every single month for a mastermind virtually. It's a way for us to connect with our friends in LA, New York, Atlanta, beyond. We have people chime in from the UK. And we talk about each other's projects and how to problem solve and level up. And I throw surprise guest speakers in there all the time, like former development executive for Sci-Fi and Disney. Major casting director. So they chimed in on one of them, and they were like, oh my God, there is a wealth of people that have amazing projects. We can help them get to network. So we formed a partnership because I said there's all these people that have amazing ideas in the community here, and they just don't know the next level to get it across to the pearly gates. So that's that partnership. If you've not hopped on a mastermind, hit me up on the AEB email. I'll give you a free one. Check it out. They've been small, intimate, and really powerful. People's projects are moving. We randomly had somebody in the audience who knows very much about tax incentives. And so I was like, that sounds interesting. Let's have this random person come up and talk about tax incentives.
Thank you, Jen. I'm Random Lou Gonzalez. Nice to meet you. I'm the CEO of Valiant Capital. We just launched Film Tax Now, which is a capital provider for this incentive. We are actually advancing on this incentive. If you're in production or post-production, doesn't really matter to us, doesn't matter to the state. We're able to provide capital for that. We're really targeting film production budgets between $2 to $35 million, so very friendly in the low to mid-budget space. And we're here to help. We're here to help finish the project, and we're here to help make you successful. So I just want to introduce myself. I have a handful of cards, but I would love to meet you if you're interested in that program, and thank you for having me.
Alfred, do you want to say something from Houston Film Commission?
Hello, everyone. My name is Alfred Cervantes. I am with the Houston Film Commission just down the street. I was up here for other film business, but we love what Jennifer's been doing here with all business group here, and it's exciting to do this. I've been up to this meeting. It's been a little over a year, I think, but it's a great filmmaking community here. We do make independent features in Houston, and we'd love to help you if you need help. I joke, I've been doing this a long time. I'm a wealth of useless information. So if you are a filmmaker, I don't care where you make your film. If you need assistance or guidance or help, advice, whatever you need, I'm here to do that, except money. No money. Whatever else you need, I'm here to help you with that. HoustonFilmCommission.com, HoustonFilmCommission.com, HoustonFilmCommission.com. Thank y'all so much.
I want to call Dr. Garrick up next, and I'm just going to give him a little intro. So Spiral, my movie, is about trying to change the world with mental health and say, it's not the people in the loony bin, it's all of us that should be checking ourselves on a daily basis and making sure we're well. It's just like gaining weight. If you don't check in with yourself, all of a sudden you're like, how did I gain 20 pounds? And so that's what my movie is about. But as I started going down this path, I started attracting the people that care about our health and medicine, and I started becoming disappointed with insurance and regular general doctor care that is available to us. And all of a sudden, this beautiful human being fell in my lap that actually is what doctors used to be, that actually takes the time and patient care and is available when you need them. And so I wanted to introduce Dr. Garrick because he specializes in the entertainment business and he's affordable.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. So I'm Dr. Garrick. I've been a doctor for 18 years, board certified in family medicine and preventative care. I started my practice on East 6th Street in 2019. It's a beautiful office. Like Jennifer mentioned, I do specialize in the entertainment industry, so service industry, musicians, artists. It's affordable. Some of our patients have insurance, but they don't use it for care. It's a subscription, just like Netflix, so they subscribe to me as their doctor, and I take care of them when they need it. I'm the doctor in your pocket, if you will. The doctor that, back in the day, we would carry black bags to people's homes and actually provide real care for them. Also focused a lot on prevention. Unfortunately, I practiced in the system working for insurance companies for about 13 years. But that system was not set up for actually prevention. It's mostly reactionary, and a lot of the preventative tests that I used to want to do for my patients, the insurance wouldn't cover, so then the patients would get this huge bill. I've negotiated my own contracts with a local lab where we get 60 to 80% off of the retail price for any test, so I can order anything without worrying about whether you're going to get screwed by your insurance company when they send you a denial or your doctor a denial. So that's a little bit about me. My company is called METSICare, so if you want to learn more, it's metsicare.com, METSIcare.com, when we're on Instagram and I'm on LinkedIn. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't promote anything I don't use. That's my doctor. And he's not a sponsor. I just wanted to send him up here. So we've got a couple more.
I'll make this very quick. 2.5 years ago, I was so thrilled. I got cast as an extra in a coffee commercial with Michael Druck. This was my first meeting with Jennifer. Since then, I have now been cast in 20 movies and 8 series. I'm going to be doing my first sitcom, which is kind of like The Office. Takes place in the library. I'm the character like Jim. And I've got 2 movies, Anderson County, coming up. And the most important one that my dad is most proud of is called Stairway. This will be my Schindler's List and my dad's. So thank you.
Okay, I had the honor to meet with a wonderful woman who heads up Austin PBS. So I invited her to come specifically talk to you all tonight, too. Sarah.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks, AEB. This is amazing. I'm Sarah Robertson. I'm the Chief Content Officer of Austin City Limits. I'm also the executive in charge of CEO of Austin PBS and executive in charge of Austin City Limits. Too many names. But I want to tell you why I love PBS and why you should love PBS too. And if you're in Zoom land, why your local station is also supporting you in similar ways. First, we support the creative community here in Central Texas. Yes, every single day, a PBS station is airing a show that we created or a show that we are distributing every single day. We're actively working with 20 producers and studios to get their work out to public media audiences. We have over 30 titles that are in rights right now, and we're actively looking for more projects. Secondly, we are also funding the creative community here in Central Texas. This year, we announced a finishing fund grant and 2 digital grants for a total of $100,000, and we're hoping to continue that. Third, we are the home of Austin City Limits, the longest running music show in television history. Yes. I mean, who can top that? That is shot downtown in our studio at ACL Live at the Moody, and we tape artists from all over the world, but we do that with a crew that is 100% here in Austin and in Central Texas. Fourth, we have a studio in North Austin that is state-of-the-art and is available for rentals, for your production, for your wedding, for your fashion show, whatever you can dream. We can support you with free parking and lots of space. And finally, even if you don't turn to us, we're still there for you with emergency alerts, with programming for your kids, with 4 channels over the air and hundreds of thousands of programming available for free on our app. So we are there for you, and we want to be there for you forever. So you can also go to austinpbs.org to find more. Thank you.
Damien, you want to talk? Pershing.
Hi, welcome to Pershing, Pershing House. This is actually the Pershing Hall, where we do events such as this. And when Jennifer reached out to talk and to ask if we'd be willing to partner and do this event, this is exactly what we like to do and how we get back to the creatives and to the artists in the Austin community. So there couldn't be a better fit. So thank you for all of you for being here this evening. We appreciate it. Secondly is, while this is the hall, we do have another area that's called the Pershing House, which is an exclusive social club filled with creatives just like yourselves, artists, musician, you name it, they're there. Doctors, because my doctor's here right now. So they're all there. Anyways, we've reached a milestone in our membership here at the club, which is fantastic for us, which also means at this point now we have a more generous offering to become a member of Pershing House. With that being said, our membership dues right now are going to be $300 a month for anybody that's interested in becoming a member here at Pershing House, which includes over 90 shows that we do in this venue that are complimentary that you can attend. Along with that, we have a network of over 400 clubs across the world that you can visit whenever you're traveling if you're a member here. They're reciprocal clubs that we have. So there will be a QR code for you to snap a shot. If you'd like to go look at the house and walk through it and kind of get a feel, I'd be happy to walk anybody over there and share that experience with them. But anyways, thank you again for being here tonight with us. Have a good event.
Thank you. Anna, can you put the QR code up for Pershing? We created a fun little form. Just take a picture of the QR code and fill out if you want more information about joining and a private tour and to look at things. Let me tell you, I don't promote anything I don't do. I'm a member of the Pershing House, and it's really cool. And there's a secret attic, which, checks my little kid boxes. Okay, Austin Studios, our sponsor for the Champagne Toast coming up shortly. Guess what? Studio space is going to fill up in the state of Texas. You should really get on their radar. This is a good spot in Mueller. I've had offices in the bungalows and in the Red Building. Linkletter has an office there occasionally. Rooster Teeth was housed there. It's a great way to network and also film. Can we get one more QR? Did everybody get that one? Did you take a picture? You all are all a business in here, right? You are marketing and networking yourself, whether you're an actor, a studio, a producer, whatever. We have an outreach of close to 30,000 people with AEB. If you want us to promote you, reach out to us. That will help keep the group going. We'll keep the sponsorship dollars low and affordable. But if you would like a shout out for your next film, or you as an actor or whatever, we're happy to share that. So that's the QR code for that. And the little signs around here have all those QR codes too. Okay, we have CJ, the wonderful CJ from Women in Film.
Hi, I am the marketing director for Women in Film and Television here in Austin. We are one of the largest industry networking groups here in Texas. It is intergenerational. It is filled with women in all aspects of the industry. And it's not just a networking group. We have programming designed to help educate our members, upskill our members, connect our members. We have wonderful partnerships like with AEB. I will say this on a personal level. I joined WIFT about a year and a half ago, and it was life-changing for me, and that's not hyperbolic at all. So when I say this is an organization of extraordinary women who are championing each other and clapping for each other and want everybody to win.
I want to thank our sponsor and Martin personally for tonight's champagne toast that's about to happen. Can you come up and say a word about the wonderful Austin studios?
A round of applause for Jen Hutchins, everybody. I mean, when I moved to Austin almost 6 years ago, and just doing Google searches, I came across Austin Entertainment Business. It was at the W Hotel, and Trace was at the restaurant, and it was like, oh, this is really cool. Then COVID happened. And then she pivoted, went to Zoom, hybrid, and now to see this back, it's a real treat. Thank you for doing this, Jennifer. We really appreciate what you do for our ecosystem. I'm Marty Jones. Thanks for letting me come up. I'm the head of Austin Studios, which is a part of the Austin Film Society. We're 40 years old this year, founded by Richard Linklater, one of our great American auteurs who lives right here in Austin and works with his buddies like Robert Rodriguez and Elizabeth Avian next door. And Austin Studios is 25 years old. In our 25 years here, we've hosted over 1,200 productions from one day to many years, like folks like Rooster Teeth. We've had 41,000 jobs come from those 1,200 productions with an economic impact of $2.8 billion. So, yeah. And that's the old Austin airport. You know, when the airport moved to the air base, Rick said, hey, can we use those hangars until you figure out what to do with them? A few years turned into a few more years, and now we run that facility until the year 2084. So 20 acres right in the heart of Austin, 3 miles as the crow flies, 4 miles from downtown, 6 miles from the airport, 7 sound stages, 2 office buildings. Please, please, please come film there. I'm seeing my next door neighbor, Nixon, is here. Robert Rodriguez has shot more movies at Austin Studios than any other director in the world. So it's a big pleasure being next door neighbors to you, my friend.
We have a surprise. We like to do surprises at AEB.
A surprise?
We've stuck scissors up people's noses and all kinds of stuff at AEB.
You got a flash mob? She's the queen of flash mobs.
We've had about 4 surprise flash mobs. You never know when it's going to happen. But that's not happening tonight.
Should I go sit
so
down?
why don't we kick up some music and start the surprise, and we'll come back.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, ladies. That was wonderful. Let's get Fred and Martin back up. Sorry to make you come back and up. I think I set mine down somewhere over here too. Oh, right there. I want to introduce Fred Poston too, the executive director of TXMPA. TXMPA has been very important to the state of Texas in advocacy to bring filming to the state. So on this monumental day, first event.
It's the first time. This is super exciting. It's an honor to be here because this law just passed, and this is the first time to be amongst the community, our community, to celebrate this momentous and historic accomplishment that we just had in this legislative session. So we can't thank you enough for being here with us.
So let's cheers to going from a gigster economy to a brick and mortar. You all are going to be busy.
Here's to the future. Cheers, 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 cheers.
I was like, thank you again, Martin.
Thank you
Yes,
very
thank
much.
you, Marty, for
Here's to
making this
Texas,
happen.
everybody. Texas. We're going to tell our stories right here. May we prosper and have a good time doing it. All right.
So welcome to AEB, Fred.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. It's really fun to be here amongst the community here in Austin. So thank you.
I think to talk about the future, we should talk about the past. That should be my intro when I run for politics. Let's talk about the past. Where have we been? Why is this so monumental, what's happening?
So how far back do you want to go? Because I actually am a native. I was born here in Austin. But no, kidding aside. Actually a native Texan, grew up here, went to school here. I did what every person that graduates from Stephen F. Austin and Nacogdoches does, and made my way out to Southern California. Got a job in a mailroom. Had a successful career in television. Spent years launching a bunch of television networks back when that was all the rage, when cable was coming of age. And then I went international. And when I came back to the States, I decided that I would come home, and I'm now back here in Texas. And this is part of the story because in the last legislative session, I decided I was like, you know what, I need to find something to do because I had the benefit of not having to work necessarily, but I wanted to be connected with the community, and also I have this big thing that I personally am trying to do. My why is to help others to have hopefully just a fraction of the experience I've had in this industry. And so I took it upon myself to start going to the legislative hearings and going there because why? Because that's where leadership is. And I found out that these people were there trying to make a case for why this industry is so important to be important here in the state.
And just 8 years ago, the comment was, we don't want Hollywood here.
Yes, it's an easy headline to be made. And so, TXMPA, a little more history lesson here. It was an organization that came about in the 2000s. It was created in 2006. The people who helped bring incentives to the state is the people who started this organization. So I had people on my board that were here that are the people who actually were like, you know what, if Texas is going to thrive, we have to have incentives in the state. We had a film commission. We had a great film commission. It had been here since the 70s. But we needed to have these incentives in order to attract business here. So it started back in the 2000s, and then we had incentives starting at the end of the first decade of the 2000s. So here we are, going through all these years, had a program. We will say the program's been successful. Its success has been measured by the fact that it's been here consistently for all these years. There's lots of other states who got on this thing years ago, and it didn't work out for them. And Texas consistently had it, but there was one thing that wasn't there, and that was money, as well as consistent funding, which we can get into.
Well, and to paint the picture, me as a producer, I'm sitting here looking at my budget, dealing with my investors, and they're like, hey, if we're going to get 40% on our money back in New York, that's where we're going. There's not a lot of thought that goes into it besides like the bottom line there. And, all of a sudden, Texas had a problem. Yeah. And Texas was one of the top 3 states to film in because of the diversity of locations. And then all of a sudden, when the incentives came about, it was not competing.
Yeah, it helped the situation. It created jobs by virtue of having money available there to bring projects in. But it spent many years, it was basically sold out for years and years and years. I mean, they maximized it. That helped us, though, because that was the big thing that we've had on our side going to this legislative session. I mean, when you're going in front of the government and saying, hey, this is a great idea. Let me help you with this. We had the situation where we had a return on investment. The Film Commission has done a great job of capturing data and making sure that they knew what the impacts were to the state of Texas. So going into this legislative session, it was a key part of our talking points was making sure that everybody understood that this isn't just a program that was money coming in, our tax dollars, that was being given away. It was actually money that was being given to projects that were spending money in Texas, because the only things that qualify for this program are Texas spend and Texas hires. And so that way, it was a great case to be made.
Yeah, so when I moved here and realized, oh my God, I might not be able to work. I might have to move out of the state of Texas because we're not having longevity of projects. We're having just these one-off smaller budgets, where the investors don't care as much because it's, mom or somebody in the community. It's like we need to be able to draw these projects that are going to come season 1, season 2, season 3, big budget movies that are going to hire 1,000 people. And then realized that the conversation that you all have done so well on switching was being able to relate that to the business community on the economic impact that we as filmmakers do to a community.
Well, it's major impact. And I'll just kind of a little context here. We were last summer, we had a speaking engagement out at UCLA with some of the film commissioners, and we had a caravan. We went around and met with executives from studios. And it was consistent every place we went. First of all, they like doing work in Texas. They all know who we are, where we are. We're easy to get to. They really want to be a part of what we have to offer. But their first question was, how much money do you have? Second question was, what is your percentage that's available to us? And always about, is it still a 2-year program? And that was super important to them. For all those projects that are major projects, especially for the ones that employ our Texans the most, is a lot of this TV product. And having that consistent show that goes year over year over year requires a program they can count on. And it was a big thing for these folks. They were very, very clear to us in the fact that that was something that we needed to really focus on. So coming in this legislative session, that was a big priority for us.
Yeah, so you can imagine if you're bringing, hundreds of people over to the state of Texas, but you don't know if the program's going to run out of money in 2 years, you don't really want to commit to longevity. And so that has been the problem. And it was really interesting when we saw, Paramount Studios and other studios having their own lobbyists at Capitol Hill, because they were like, we need 10-year commitments. So this is a big deal, what's about to happen. I'm so excited because Fred's going to break it down for what that means.
I'm going to do the best I can. But we came into this session, there's a lot of people in this room that I could probably go through and thank you all, but it was truly a cast of thousands that came together, brought knew it had to happen, and we went out there and made it happen. Dan Patrick had called a special Senate Finance Committee hearing, and we got to have what I thought, especially when I was putting money in my parking meter outside the Capitol, was going to be just a typical couple of hours of us talking to legislators, and it ended up being a 5-hour hearing. And that was the kickoff party to what became the legislative session. It was a great opportunity for us to have a conversation with legislators. We had a lot of big name people up there talking to these folks that would probably be what I call biased to know, NO, but yet they took the time to listen and started asking questions, and you literally could watch the body language changing as you were in the room for those 5 hours.
Taylor Sheridan's sitting there saying, I spent $1 billion in Texas.
Yeah.
And he broke down how he spent that $1 billion in Texas.
Yes.
Am I saying the right number? It was a big number.
It was huge. And Adriana Cruz talking about, from the head of economic development of the governor's office, talking about the history of it. And then you had people like, a dynasty family like the Perot family up there saying, this is important to us. We need to do this. That was game changing for us because we've never had those voices ahead of the legislative session doing the setup for us. So then we get into the session. We have all these different folks that are lobbyists and all the rest of it leading it.
Yeah, and it's I think once any government realizes the economic impact of something and what that's going to mean for the state, and that's where it needed to get.
It was,
the numbers talk.
The numbers talk, and also Texas, as we all know, is a very large state. There's a lot of people you have to convince this is a good idea. It's not like a smaller state. We have a couple of urban centers, and that's the majority of the votes, and things happen really quickly. we had to prove the fact that this was something that had value across the state. And so, like with TXMPA and also with, like I said, a cast of thousands and Media for Texas and others, we got real specific about what was important. And one was that return on investment. Two was about what we wanted this to be. It was about the money and about the percentage and about the fact that it had to be something that was going to be multiple years.
So basically, we just went from a 2-year program where they could decide to be 0, 40 million, 20 million, whatever, to a 10-year program where $1.5 billion is committed to that 10-year program.
So it's a big deal, guys. I mean, truly, this is the biggest thing that's ever happened here in Texas. I mean, we have been fielding calls nonstop. I know Marty has been fielding calls. Everybody I talked to is like, this is really cool. So now we have the Film Commission, who, of course, is just receiving this law. It's a new baby. I know everybody's all excited about it, but we got to give it a little space here. We got to give them some time because they have to go through their process of taking in this legislation and making it part of the programs and making it successful. And the reality is, this is our mission now, with TXMPA and, of course, with the community. It's about doing everything we can to make this successful. We have everything it takes to make sure it's successful. We have community. We have a large state. We have all these people we've been talking to. I mean, we went out across the state, CJ and I, and we were in front of over 800 people and listened to what everybody had to say and shared with them the same things we're talking about tonight. And that's, we feel like, made a big difference because we were out there repeating the same things over and over. And make sure when you go out there, you say the same thing over and over because all of us have our people that we know. And as long as everybody's saying the same thing, it makes sense. And historically, there have been some times where there may have been some different ideas about what was happening. But this time, we actually had a very cohesive message, and it made a difference. So yes, we are at a point now where we have more money than we have. It's a 50% increase over what was 5 times as much the last session. We have a baseline on the larger projects, to keep it simple, of 25%, which is up 5%, with an opportunity with some uplifts to go up to 31%. That's playing, that's real, that's competitive in this nation.
And in the bottom, or the baseline budget has to be what?
That one is 1.5. Oh, I mean for the entry level ones?
Yeah, for entry level
in case
project.
I had to cheat, I brought this with me, and you would think I would have it because I've been talking about this so much. But,
Because I know it got geared more towards
I'll tell you what,
films.
we have actually a.
Let's put the PDF
that's
up
gonna help
on
us
here,
all out.
Anna. That has the
If you like me, you like seeing it better than hearing it.
stats. There we go.
There we go. So on here, we try to give a quick little highlight of what it is currently, because the current program is still in place until September 1st, which is the beginning of the fiscal year here in Texas. But yeah, you have, if you look at here, the funding of $300 million, the 10-year program, all the stuff we've already talked about. And then using film and TV as example, because that's the one probably most people here focused on, at 5% is $250,000 to $1 million is 5%. Again, you have these uplifts. At the bottom of this sheet, you can see all these opportunities where those amounts can increase. And then at the highest levels, you see the 25% for the 1.5 plus.
Yeah, so if you're at $1 million project, you might want to think about making it 1.5 because you kick into that 25% tax incentive. And when we say uplifts, we mean...
Yeah, it's other opportunities. If you do the things that they want to help incentivize, it's going to be that much more percentages you can get back on your projects.
Yeah, so they added a lot more perks, like if you hire veterans, Texas Heritage projects, rural communities, workforce development, faith-based, and in-state
Veteran,
production.
And also the in-state post-production. And they also have one, actually...
Reality TV.
And reality TV, yeah?
Yeah.
What is the reality TV thing?
It's a separate section.
Oh, yeah,
on
there it is.
Yeah.
5% for $250,000 to $1 million.
Oh, yeah, the workforce
10%
development.
for $1
You
million.
threw me off when you said that. The workforce development is actually significant because that's going to be a way for our future workforce to be able to participate on productions. So say that you're the producer and you're producing something and you're looking to partner with some kind of institute of education, that's an opportunity for an uplift, and we're helping out our students to be able to meet people and do all the things like we're doing here tonight, being together and networking and learning what it's like to actually be in this industry. That was significant as well. Other things that were included in there, It was about the qualifying for it. So there was the cast and crew. There was a change in what the requirements are. It's a graduating thing. It started 35%. I know there's a lot of conversation about that. For us, it was a very near and dear. I mean, the whole reason we do what we do and go through all the effort of spending the time and effort to champion all this is because Texans are our priority. And we, of course, want to make sure that this program was prioritized that. Intrinsically, it already does, because the only way you get money back in Texas, which is it's not unique, because other states do it too, but it's one thing that we do is you only get credit back for hiring Texans. You don't get credit back for hiring people outside of the state. But there's certain parts of the state where that's an easy thing to achieve. We were hoping for some incentives to be able to do some uplift there, but that wasn't a part of what happened. But there's communities where they can't find enough crew to be able to do it, and they still want to have it. So that was kind of a way of bringing in some of our other parts of the state to help make sure they can have projects that will qualify for the program so they too can participate in it.
Yeah, so we've lost a lot of people to Atlanta. This is going to just give them a minute to come back. And 35%
in the first
has
2
to
years,
be
and it
local
increases
Texans.
every 5 years, yeah.
And then it keeps increasing where it's, 50% has to be local Texans by 2031. So, if you want to be trained on something new right now, this is the time, because people are going to be forced to hire you soon, and production is coming. It's coming. And, I was talking to a company that flies planes, and they said they own cargo planes, and they said their LLC is in California right now. And I said, you might want to switch it to Texas, because people will get the incentive if they use your planes.
If it's a Texas company, I mean, you used in the plane example, American Airlines and Southwest Airlines, the expenses that you have with them qualifies for the program. That's important to know, because that's the kind of things that helps make the bottom line of your budgets work. But we could not be more excited. Listen, this is a new level that we've never seen in this state since this program's been around. We're all here to make this successful. It's going to take all of us to make it successful. We need to work with the Film Commission to help them, because they got to do what they got to do. And then once they get this thing up and running and available for us all, to be ready to go to work and make Texas the star that it really is. I mean, we have every opportunity to be the place that people want to be, and I can't wait to see it happen.
And for those of you that are on Zoom, my friends from LA, New York, Atlanta, I grew up in Michigan and spent a long time in California, 16 years, and then I moved out to Austin. And the thing that kept me here was that I found out what the word hobby meant, and that I could actually afford a house, and that I could do things and have a life. And it became important to me, those things. And then also the ability to be creative. So I cannot be more heartwarmed by the fact that the industry is going to come here, and here is a good place to be. And when they were saying we don't want Hollywood here, the people that are sort of shitty, they don't really leave Hollywood. It's the people that want these same things. They want a life. So I have found the people that have left New York and Hollywood. I think Hollywood is a virtual term at this point, but I have found them to be quite pleasant.
I mean, listen, that's always, when people bring that up to me, I would say it's a headline, it's left for interpretation. The people that want to be in Texas and want to do work in Texas is what this is about. And that's what this whole program's about. It's about us as a community, about making this successful. Funny thing you were mentioning about, being in Southern California. The LA Times interviewed me this morning, and I struck a chord. We had all the usual talking points, and then I talked about I was just in Sacramento a couple of weeks at the expense when I had to go put gas back in the car to return the rental car. I mean, I truly was like, I thought something was wrong with the pump. I was like, oh my gosh, this cannot be true. But when I brought that up to her, she wanted to have a full-on conversation about that. But yeah, I mean, I told her, I said, it's a different quality of life here. It's a decision to be here. But it's a great decision, because you have a lot of opportunity here, and that's the Texas spirit. So.
And you get to look really cool in cowboy boots and a cowboy hat. And I found out there's a real purpose for those things. It's called red ants. Ouch.
Yeah.
So let's take it to some questions. In person or on Zoom, does anybody have any questions?
So let's say I have a, hi Sarah. Let's say I have a $1.5 million budget. How do we do that process? Do we have to hire someone to navigate that whole system in the Capitol? Or is there just literally a link with an application and you just fill it out?
It's literally go to the Film Commission, online, contact them. They answer the phone. I mean, they literally answer the phone. These folks are committed to making this successful. They are there. They have a staff of people there. I do feel for them. It might be a little busy for them, but that's all it is. And there are people that can help you too, I think, that are out there. But it truly is. It's a state run program that's available to anyone.
And then the follow-up is who approves that?
It's all done through the Film Commission, and they have a protocol for how they do that.
Thanks.
And they'll get the new protocol up. They're working on that ASAP because we're in the current system. But by September, it should be pretty clear on what the requirements are. And
yeah, I mean, we're ready to wait to hear from them. We're just as anxious to learn about it as everybody here.
So, out of curiosity, do music composers qualify as cast and crew?
That's a great question. I would imagine if it's a part of the production, I would think there may be some way that if it's actually part of a production, that I would just.
Yeah.
I'm going to make an assumption, which you're never supposed to do.
Yeah, sure.
I would refer you to whoever's project it is and have them work with the Film Commission, but I would assume that it would be because it's a part of the project.
yeah, I feel like that's part of post, right? Like you could use
It
that
could
in
be part
your
of post. It could
post
be
receipts.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. So, and I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe the plan is still that it's going to be once you get approved for the program, they put the money aside, and then they do an audit after you're finished filming.
Yeah, there's a whole process for it.
Hi. How would these productions go about finding local crew? Does the Film Commission have a database, or is it a good time to join the union?
Thank you for that question, because everywhere we were this summer, whatever we've been talking to people, make sure that your information is with your local film commission. That is beyond critical. That information is how people know how to find you. We talk to people all the time, and I say, is your information correct with your film commission? Oh, I don't know I had to do that. Yes, you have to do that. They don't know where you are. Your local film commissions, the state film commission, is a great place to start for that.
All right, we've got more. And Jess, let me know if there's any on Zoom that want to ask too.
Yeah, thank you for being here and letting us know what
Hey, can
this
you
all
talk
means.
a little bit louder?
Okay, thank you for being here and letting us know what all this means. But my question is, how does this compare to other states, so like New Mexico, Oklahoma? We know that New York and Atlanta have like a lot more in their incentives. How does Texas compare to other states?
The easy answer is now competitive. It's a very, very, very complex question because Texas is a grant program, so it's cash back, which is a lot quicker to get back and totally different than these tax incentives that are out there. And there's 40-something different programs just here in the United States, and it's a variety of things. The best way to say it is this is now competitive.
So make sure you're listed on the Film Commission website and in any commission website in the state.
Oh, absolutely. I got to get a drink of water.
Oh, yeah. All of those are for you.
Oh, thank you.
Because
We're gonna be here a while, everyone. Get comfortable.
I really believe there could be a time where they are digging through everybody on that site to hire. We're going to get flooded with productions in this state.
That's the plan.
Could you talk a little bit about the 25% base grant for $1.5 million productions and up, and what that looks like?
I'm not sure what the question is. I mean, when you meet if you have a certain budget, a certain amount of money, then you qualify for the different levels of how much incentives you're qualified for. Then, beyond that, there's those uplifts that were on there that are opportunities to be able to, if you do qualify for those things, then it would increase the amount up to a total of 31%.
So I think what you're asking too is like the baseline is 1.5 million for a film to get 25%. Eligible, depending on if you meet all the things, up to 31%.
And by the way, I don't know if we have any of the gaming industry here, because that's a part of this program as well.
Who's in the gaming industry?
Anybody?
We need to start inviting our friends in the gaming industry.
Those folks are excited. They're like, because for them, their projects, kind of like television, go for an extended amount of time. This is like, they're like, okay, they're like, game on, let's do it. They truly have been calling me going, wow, this is kind of really good. I'm like, well, good. But that's also, there's overlap with that industry, with us, of course, or with those who are in television and film. So the visual effects artists, animation artists, a number of different things that it's just good for the whole ecosystem that we're creating here.
Well, and I think Austin's a good place to be with tech meets gaming meets film. I mean, I think they're really all going to start merging together, and experiential sort of stuff is going to start popping up.
Yeah, agreed.
Hey, Fred, Jennifer, nice to see you. Camera operator, third generation. So when I was young, my dad worked on Ghost, and we had to move from we had to move from New York to LA. How can Texas and Texans solidify Hollywood, quote unquote, 2.0 in Texas to make sure that it stays and it doesn't have to leave or go anywhere else? Because that's notoriously been happening throughout the film industry for a long time. And I had to leave Hollywood. I'm sorry, but I'm here. I love y'all. Thanks.
Well, glad you're here. I mean, that's the whole foundation of this new legislation, is the fact that it's talking about that it's going to be a commitment over multiple years, and it just grows upon itself. I mean, listen, once this thing is up and running, I mean, the amount of money in it is sufficient enough that it's going to create an industry. I mean, a lot of what we do is manufacturing, the production of these different things, this content. But the hope is the ecosystem that comes in around it. It's the people that make investments in the state. When I was on the road doing our road tour, I would use Toyota as an example, or maybe use Tesla. But having them that are making cars is one thing. It's a huge investment in the state. But it's also all the other companies that come around to help support it. There's already been companies moving here now. Manhattan Beach Studios, MBS Equipment, they've already got a location here in Austin, anticipating the fact that we're going to have all this extra production here in the state. So, I mean, people are taking note, believe me, they're taking note. Our membership has people, different companies across the country, and they've been in communication with me, wanting to make sure this is going to happen, because they're ready to be a part of what's next here in Texas. So, I mean, the idea behind this, the whole, what we created here helped create here, is to make sure that there's something that's going to be ongoing.
You had mentioned that there was a lot of people ahead of time who were advocating and speaking up before the legislature. Can you, do you know any sources with information about what exactly they said, or the kind of arguments that were made by people beforehand, or if there's anyone you might recommend following who's good at summarizing this sort of thing from a film industry perspective? Because there's a lot of legal discussion, but I was just curious if there's a source you'd recommend.
Yeah, I mean, listen, from a state level, my organization is statewide. I would say tune into us. That's part of our mission, is to make sure that people have information. But other than that, I mean, it was really about the industry coming together to make its case legislatively. So this is something that doesn't go away. I mean, there's some groups of people that have lobbyists that they pay for that helps in this conversation, that helps prioritize this. There's a number of different things, but that's a big question. I don't know if I can answer it here really quickly. Yeah, well, the government website that talks about all the who's involved with it, all the stages of when things are approved. I mean, Senate Bill 22 alone, I mean, you got to scroll the page up to see all the steps it goes through. And by the way, we live that moment by moment, every piece of it. I mean, I got to give props where props are due. Our legislators, who I said some as the main actors in this thing we were having, they were good at suspense, because they waited to the last minute for everything that they did with us along this way. And so all my constituents were like, what's going on? I'm like, if I knew, I would be telling you, believe me. But even when the bill dropped, I mean, it was like 2 days before, pencils down, before bills could be put in. And then when the hearings started happening, they were all at the very, very end. And this becoming law was literally at the very end of this legislative experience. It was like, wow. So yeah, there's a story there, somebody. I'll help you with details.
Thanks. Mark Baird with Second Chance Pictures out of Houston. I'm an in-house producer. We operate in the SAG ultra low space, which is $250,000 to $300,000 movies. My preliminary understanding of this bill is our benefits look like transferable tax credits. If that is the case, is It's not the case?
It's not. It's a grant. We're not taxable tax. There was a conversation happening about that being a possibility as a part of this program. That is not what it is. It's still a cash program.
It's a cash program.
That's
so
correct.
is there any transferable tax credits in Texas or is
No.
everything? Okay. Thank you very much. That's
You're
a
welcome.
great clarification.
You remember what above the line was? It's covered, right?
Certain parts of it.
Okay.
We'd have to pull up the webpage for the Film Commission to get through all the details of it.
Yeah, I think it was if above the line is residents of the state of Texas, if I recall.
Yeah.
10. Okay. All right.
Well, I guess that means I'll only do my one question. So for the more writers, how do we fit into this? Is there incentives, for?
It's production based.
So it's production based.
So you need to be a part of the production.
Okay, but
But
that
you being
maybe
a Texan,
will help to sell the script.
if you or it helps qualify it.
Okay.
So yes.
Awesome. Thank
Very
y'all.
important.
Okay. Thank y'all so much.
Jen, do we have time for one more Zoom question from a VIP?
Bring it on.
Okay, I'm going to throw to Deidre.
Thank you. And thank you guys for putting this on. This is awesome. So my question is, I know that, so Oklahoma, as I'll say this, their program is, they shoot basically, of course they shoot all over Oklahoma, but the base is out of Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Has there been a discussion of where the base will be located? I don't know if that makes sense. Is it like Dallas and here, or here in Houston? Just curious to know.
The largest state in this country that has a film program is here in Texas. It's the whole thing. We have, I know, 8 full-time film commissioners across the state. That just tells you kind of what that reality is. It's all across the state. I mean, there's crews across the state. I mean, the one thing in Texas too, I mean, people here travel between the, we like to refer to as a triangle between the Metroplex and Houston and back over here to Central Texas, San Antonio and Austin. So it's all over the state.
Some of the communities too have extra bump ups of incentives of filming in their city too. I
They
know
do.
for sure Austin has like an extra.
Austin has a small one. San Antonio has one. I think Houston's got something in the works. Yes.
Yeah, so it's worth asking every question, looking under every pot of money you can find, because there's lots of pots.
Call your film commissioner.
Go ahead.
I agree. There's lots of pots to look for money in across the country, between California, Texas, Atlanta. I should have said Georgia, but people think of Atlanta. Texas burgeoning is one of those places. Really trying to ride that is admirable. And I, as someone that has lived here my whole life, that was born here and raised here, I love it. However, also as someone that is producing a film here, or that is now in post-production, waiting on its film incentive, I think there may be some worry among some filmmakers that this state may not grant incentive to people that make films that don't necessarily agree with the governor's office, because they are the ones that write off on our approval. So I guess I'm just curious to ask, what do you think brings people here, as opposed to say New Mexico, where freedom of speech and filmmaking is not really a problem?
Texas is a huge state, and there's a lot of. I mean, you got more opportunities to shoot here than you have in New Mexico. With a lot of different places to do it. I get this question a lot. I got a lot on the road when we were out there, and I appreciate the question. I mean, we have to, again, rely on the Film Commission. They're the ones that are administering this program. We have to trust that they're going to, use good judgment. I say also for all of those in the community looking to do projects, use good judgment. Other states have the same requirements. The only thing that they did in this bill was to take things that were already there and they put it in the bill. They did that, is my observation, this is my observation, because they wanted to make sure lawmakers knew that was part of what this was about. That way it wasn't just a free-for-all. I mean, these are lawmakers. They got 1,000 other things to worry about. And so for them to see it written down and be part of the bill was critical for us to even get this thing approved. So that was a big part of it. But back in working in television, I used to always making sure all this content would get where it had to go and overseeing all those departments. And it was always about that S&P department, standards and practices, And so here we would have millions of dollars behind a show and ready to go to market. and then something crazy's in there, and of course the company doesn't want to take that responsibility. And so what happens? Everybody's got to stop, drop, roll, get back in post-production, fix it, and get it back over and get it back on air. So I mean, I use that as an example because the spectrum of what is or what isn't is so broad, it's hard to really know what that means. But I would say, I mean, if it's something that you think is going to be really edgy or really crazy, know your audience, know where that might fit. Some places it may work and some places it may not. I'm not the person who makes that decision, so I don't know how to answer it really, but that's just a little context about, how I see it.
Was there anything else we didn't talk about that you wanted to talk about?
We covered a lot.
I know, right?
It's been a great experience. I mean, I got to tell you, this, the momentum we got from our industry and the relationships and just even talking to legislators, I mean, this is important to Texas. I mean, we're one of the most populated states in this country. And what does the most populated states have? They have this industry in the portfolio. And this is now Texas' opportunity to make sure this is a part of it too. Because we have to have our voice to be able to tell these stories. And this is what's going to make that happen. So we could not be prouder of where we are at this moment in time to be able to say that Texas is going to be a place where people will be making content.
Thank you so much. Let's give this gentleman a round of applause.
Thank you all. It means a lot.